The Indiana Pacers will not go away. And the Oklahoma City Thunder just learned that on a very first-hand basis. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is done. Staches and Glasses is doing a rare midweek podcast to discuss and overreact as we typically do, whether that be on the socials or in person or on the podcasting. I don't know. Anyway, Justin Waters, my cohort, with me as usual to discuss the hoopsketball. Jay, how you doing, man?
Man, those summer mosquitoes, bro. It's the fucking Pacers.
They just stick around no matter what you do. They
just
bug the shit out of you.
And they just keep going like robot must destroy enemy.
I must suck your blood, blah, 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 blah.
Like no matter, which is a testament to them. And like, to me, this is something that, especially the kids got to really get from them. It's like, these dudes literally, no matter the score, no matter the momentum shift or swing, whatever it is, they literally are on that, fuck it, keep going. Just stick to the script, stick to the script. And if it doesn't work, cool. But if it does, even if it doesn't, we know we're in a puncher's chance and we're in a battle. Yep. And that's just a testament to them because, you know, a lot of teams just that frustration, the fouls, all that stuff that goes on in a playoff game, a championship game where it easily could get flustered fast. They seem to just like, I guess it's Jim Carrey over there on the sidelines who's got them in acting class because they're doing it. And today, wow, I really thought OKC, they controlled most of this game. I thought this was going to be not an easy win, but a cruise. 55-65, just enjoying the sunset kind of thing. And then here come those.
It seemed that way. It seemed that way from the entirety of the game. Yeah. So there were 0 lead changes for the entirety of the game up until 0.3 seconds left in the fourth.
That's insane.
When Indiana went ahead. I was
told you.
Listen.
Good basketball was coming. Call me now.
Call me now. All right, Miss Cleo. Relax. Yeah, I mean, for the entirety of this game, I was just saying that OKC's got this. Yeah, the Indy can go on a run, but realistically, OKC's going to push the gas, and it's not going to even be close. I was wrong. I've said it before on this podcast. I am more than capable of accepting responsibility for being wrong, and I was wrong.
Accountability is one of our pillars here.
One of our pillars of life, as you like to say. And I was thoroughly entertained with the basketballs being played today.
Dude, I was getting a little frustrated watching, and sometimes what we talked about popped up a couple times from OKC's perspective, where it was how we talked about get that mid-range, attack the paint. You know, they were up by 10 at this point, right? There was, I think there was 3 or 4 times down the floor. It was three attempts. They ended up hitting 1, but before they're going into the shoot, hey, attack the paint, get a mid range. If you tack on a 2 here, so I'm thinking like we were talking about, boom, 2, that's 4. It's 14. It was a 10-point game, you know, easily. But they didn't score on either trip. Still a 10-point game. I saw a couple of those little moments. I saw it at the end of the game that you're in the bonus. There's 4 minutes left in the game. Mm-hmm. And there was, for me, too many driving kicks. And Jalen Williams wasn't shooting the ball well today. He put up a couple in the corner on that left wing in the fourth quarter. And some of those I didn't like. I'm thinking, go to the basket, attack, you know, I don't know. That was frustrating to watch. And then the mosquitoes were like, oh, cool. Thanks, guys. Awesome. We're just going to swoop in here and sting you right in your face. And then mosey on out this piece. And they did.
And, you know, maybe we should be smarter about this with the Indiana Pacers. This is now the fourth series in a row where they've been the absolute underdog. Everybody already dismissed their potential to win the game or win the series, that is.
Yeah.
And here they are, just lingering around like that annoying little brother who wants to come hang with you when you're just trying to go out and do your thing. Yeah. And they showed up and showed out. For I still can't believe there was 0.3 seconds left, and that's when Halliburton showed up. Here's the thing, too. Halliburton was MIA for the entire game.
He was in a penalty box for most of the fucking game. I was like, dude, they didn't even go through him at the end. They were running it through Nembhard, the offense. There was a couple of times where he was just on the wing. Yeah. He was going to the basket like a freight train. But I was surprised that they did. I mean, kudos to them that they adapted on the fly and it worked out.
All right. I mean, it really did. And then Halliburton, I guess, dude has ice in his veins. He loves those clutch moments. Maybe he should have been the NBA clutch player of the year. Because he just keeps coming up big in these like very, very intense moments. Not just regular season stuff, because nobody was writing home about his regular season stuff. He got to the playoffs and suddenly became a different animal.
Every round he has a walk-off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
In the same season.
The basketball gods are really blessing him this year, and I can't understand why. What did he do to deserve this? God damn it.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
I think that they have fully, and most teams do this to kind of as a rallying cry, but being the underdog. And to me, it's the bigger picture of like when somebody is literally counted out, backed into a corner, whatever cliche and line you want to address to that, like it does draw something out of people that they're able to go above their potential or to play above their head or you know what I mean, to reach the stratosphere that normally in life they don't.
They move up a weight class and contend.
And it's crazy how I look at it like not even, I mean, it happens through all different sports, but when you just look at it like as the human part, you know, the development of human, you're like, damn. That's why as a coach too, I love that. I love when the other team or whatever it is and they're like, oh, you're not going to win. I mean, and this is just that, like we were talking about, this is like case in point of like, holy shit, this in real time. These dudes are always the underdog. They're always all right, man, hurry up. Yeah, you had a good run.
They're
dismissed. Almost got us. Yeah.
Dismissed every chance they get, they're dismissed.
And it's pulling out the best out of them, which is
pretty
cool to see. Yeah. I still don't think they're going to win the whole series, but I am intrigued now that it could more than before this game, obviously, that the chance of it can go up higher. But I wouldn't be surprised if it turned into a Philly Lakers back in with Iverson won that first game and then but I'm not fully predicting that yet. I'm just saying let
me give you some updates. I was going to get into this later, but I want to go ahead and do the odds now. And my cat is saying that they want to join us on the podcast. Say hello, Nugget. Say hello,
Nugget. Would you dip those paws?
There we go.
She did. He did. Look at this Ace Ventura.
Oh boy!
Get out of here, said kitten. It. It said meow, meow.
All right. Anyway, so the betting odds before the game were, this according to FanDuel, were minus 700 favorite for OKC, and then plus 500 underdog for Indiana. Now, post game one, with Indiana pulling it out with a 1-point win, it is now minus 320 OKC and plus 260 Indiana. So we are in the middle of Vegas saying, "Oh, wait." And you know, I didn't wager on this game ahead of time. I didn't wager on the series ahead of time. I wanted to sit back and wait and see what game one was going to give us. Yeah. And for all of 47 minutes,
wow. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, OKC's got this. And then all of a sudden they flipped the switch.
Dude,
the NBA script writers were successful in in fooling us once again. But yeah, it's I gotta say, man, I can't stand the Indiana Pacers for obvious reasons. I'm a Knicks fan, but what they did today in Game 1 of the NBA Finals was something that I didn't expect. I was really impressed by. And I gotta give props to Tyrese Halliburton for doing what he did in that last second, with just like the attitude of just give me the ball, I'll handle this. We need to get ahead by a bucket. Let's do it. Give me the ball, and he does it. every single time, it seems.
And he was patient. He was patient today, which was impressive. You're not shooting well. And for him to be patient in that moment of like, he didn't rush it. He could have easily, just based off of the game he had and the shooting he had, he come on, we've played basketball before. You don't have a great shooting night. But maybe, I guess also maybe for him in that last 10 seconds, it's literally like it's supposed to be all bets are off and I'm going to hit a shot because I know I can make this shot. But I was impressed by how he slowed down there, got to what he wanted, got to his spot. He didn't rush it, and he didn't shoot the ball well. And then, like you said,
he was 5 of 12 up until that moment.
I mean, it's not terrible. I guess he didn't shoot enough.
Yeah,
he just kind of seemed like
it's not great, but he just, like I said earlier, Halliburton was MIA for the majority of this game. Indiana did not have a lead for the entirety of the game.
Dude, they some thief in the night.
Seriously,
man.
They snuck up like a cat burglar and stole the jewels under everybody's noses.
Yeah, while they're eating. Yeah. I heard, by the way, that's a true story. They have it back in the day. These two robbers used to do that when everybody's eating because everybody in the mansion was in the dining hall and they'd rob them blind. That was the Pacers today. That's crazy though, that they just swooped in like that. No bleeds at all.
That's like John Hamm and Your Friends and Neighbors. You seen that show?
Ooh, love it.
It's a great show, right?
Yeah, I love that show.
I was actually going to ask you later what shows you're watching right now, but we'll hop back into that.
Yeah, I like that.
Halliburton, 39 minutes, 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3 with this busted ass form, 14 points, but had 10 ribbies. You know that?
No, he had 10 rebounds. How many assists did he have?
He had 6. Dude had an overall pretty good game. But for not being a difference maker for most of it.
No, yeah.
Yes, he was.
And then Shea shot the ball, almost 32 times or something like that?
Okay, Shea had a monster game. He's the MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
SGA, 40 minutes, 14 of 30 from the field, so almost a 50% clip. 3 of 6 from 3, only 30% on the year, 50% from in this game. 7 of 8 from free throw. That's expected.
Yeah.
5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, only 2 turnovers, 38 points.
Yeah. There was a couple of threes I didn't like early in the first quarter, but
he had
a couple where it looked like he was.
We don't like
impressive.
A lot of these threes.
Yeah, he had a couple where I felt like he was just trying to prove that I could shoot the 3 too.
Yeah. And Indiana didn't have like a monster game from anybody. I mean, let's go down the starting lineup. Siakam, 19 points. Nesmith, 10 points. Turner, 15 points. Nembhard, 14. Halliburton, 14. Obi Toppin off the bench, 17 with 5 of 8 from 3. Nobody expected that from Obi Toppin. 5 of 8 from 3. You kidding me?
But his started off. Wow, he looked like it was a lot of energy going on. Overthinking.
I think that's when the momentum changed. Is when Toppin started busting all those threes. In the second half. And they just slowly but surely chipped away until it was down a point. And then Halliburton. It was incredible. It was incredible. Yeah, and here's the thing. Indiana had, let me look it up real quick. They had 25 turnovers, 18 of them in the first half.
Yeah, so they buttoned up nice in the second half on that end.
They buttoned up, but OKC only had 7 for the entire game. Game. And here's the other. Here's another statistic that stood out to me.
Stats.
Points in the paint, 46-34 in favor of OKC.
So you had all the stuff that you think is a victory, right? Those main things: points off turnovers, turnovers itself, low turnovers, forcing turnovers, shooting in the paint.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of fast break scoring on this. Like I think so. OKC had 11 points off of turnovers, only 11 fast break points in total, compared to Indiana's 10. And Indiana's usually a fast break team. They get out in front of you and they score. Yeah. OKC's defense was just really tight this entire game.
Dort was picking them up at like the free throw in that area, 3-point line.
Yeah. Here's where I think the difference is. And this is where OKC this is the one area they need to button it up. Offensively, they need to take better shots. And the shots that they do have, like that have a lot of space and are good opportunities, they got to hit those. They shot 39% from the field in this game.
Yeah. Smoked a couple layups.
Yeah. Blew wide open shots compared to 47% from Indiana.
Wow.
The other thing, too, is that Indy busted it up from three-point land. 18 of 39, 46%, compared to OKC's 11 of 30, 36%. Still a good clip, but 39 threes from one team, 18 of them made. That's big. But realistically, if OKC had just hit their open shots, made better decisions in terms of their shot making, or better decisions in terms of which shots they shot, they would have been in a better position here, and it would have been OKC all the way. So I think they're going to make some adjustments in round two, or not round two, in game two.
You think that was their plan? Like, was OKC is like, hey, look, let's make sure that Halliburton's production, points, assists, and everything is let's be that the one thing that we need to stop, and let's let these other dudes beat us. Those other, like, because look at the points, like you said, it's well distributed. So maybe OKC is like, hey, I'm going to keep doing this same shit, and then I know that we obviously got to tighten it up on those threes, but I think if we shot better and we didn't smoke some layups and actually, a little bit better offense, that defense philosophy might have actually worked, right?
I think OKC was pretty good defensively for the majority of the game. They were closing out on shots. They were swarming around the ball. They were swiping at it, caused a hell of a lot of turnovers. Like, these turnovers weren't just bonehead plays by Indiana. This was OKC's defense, like, making them nervous and making them fumble the ball. And that's why, they had that many turnovers in the first half. And I think that their just overall defensive presence really shut down everybody as a whole. Yeah. And they just couldn't convert that to points on the other end of the court.
I mean,
And then if you give Halliburton any kind of opportunity to show up on the big stage and have the spotlight, you're kind of asking for it at that point, and that's what happened here. So I'm like, this OKC played a good defensive game. They just got to hit. They got to hit more shots. They really have to hit more shots.
You forcing that many turnovers.
Oh, I mean, that's 25-7?
And at halftime, it was at
7.
Yeah, at halftime, it was, you said 18, 19? They were up
18, 19 turnovers the first half. I forget which.
And they only had a lead of what? Halftime, it was 8 or 10?
Yeah, around 10. But yeah.
I want to see 15. Bad. I want to see a 15-plus point, 15-plus point lead. With that production on defense like that.
Yeah, like that kind of lead, they've got to keep that. They've got to keep that distance between them points wise.
You think it's because they're young, and that this is their first final. I mean, we're in the finals now. This is the Big Daddy. Maybe they got a little deer in headlights for a minute there, because at the end, I mean, like you said, they controlled most of the damn game, and it was ahead of everything. And it was that last. It kind of felt either that or I don't know. Maybe that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes that happens in the game where. Obviously, basketball is it's like this, right? It's up and down. Shit could change on a dime. That team could go on an 8-0 run. You can get a stop.
Yeah, but like the majority of this game was Indy fighting out of their weight class.
Yes. Yeah. It was like they kept trying to climb to the top, and then Big Brother's like, man, get your ass back down.
Yeah.
And they would come back
Stay
up.
in your lane. Stay in your lane. Yeah.
And then at the end, they just eventually grabbed both of those feet, put him to the ground, and it was like, oh shit, the lights are out, it's over, game's over. I don't know, man. There's a lot to learn.
Another thing is Indy distributed the ball way better than OKC did. 24-13 in terms of assists in favor of Indy. They also out rebounded them 56-39.
Wow.
So that was a big difference maker. And that's the kind of stuff that you don't really give a lot of love to in terms of like the impact that's made. But like you collect, if you're grabbing everything off the board and running it back the other way, you're establishing your offense right then and there.
Yeah.
So Indy did the right things. I think Indy did the right things, stepped up when they needed to step up, and kept it close when everybody kept saying, OKC's got this, including myself. The one thing that I would say, and this is more on the broadcast team than anything else, Richard Jefferson and the ESPN crew, they like to gas up everybody.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great team.
Yeah.
Okay. They're down 15, buddy. Like, they're congratulations. You were right at 0.3 seconds left in the game, but for the majority of the game, they're not the great team that you were describing for that entirety. This is one of the reasons why I have trouble watching ESPN broadcasts, is because they're not critical of anything. I think Jeff Van Gundy doesn't have a job there anymore because he was too critical.
Oh, I liked him. And he would talk shit about him. Especially when there was rules or shit that didn't make sense. He would, you need people like that. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
He would be like, why don't we do, you're wasting. But it's true though. Some of the stuff is like, you're breaking the momentum of the game. We got all these unnecessary timeouts and we're going to New York.
These reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. And then why does it take that long? Dude, it's 2025. You guys have the best cameras we got out there. It should not take this long for you to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Speaking of cameras, did you know that this game was not broadcast in 4K?
What was it broadcast in? 5?
HD. So 2K. Half as much as what most people's televisions are able to, the resolution that they're able to show you now.
Yeah, why?
And I don't know. YouTube TV was the title sponsor here, and they did not broadcast this game in 4K. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I could tell too, because there were certain shots that would, come off the rim, and I'm like, did that go in, or did that?
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad. It was
problems.
Yeah, I was thinking there was all this noise that I couldn't tell if it was made shot or not, and I think that's a problem. Another thing too, and I don't know if this is something that we're overreacting to, probably. Did you notice that there were no NBA Finals logos on the court tonight?
No, I wasn't paying attention to that. Wow. Like the old Finals script logos?
Yeah. There was no championship trophy like we had in the 2010s. There was no NBA Finals logo in the not in the backcourt, but near half court line.
Yeah.
Nothing. There was nothing. The only branding of the NBA Finals was on the broadcast next to the score.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
You know what? Not doing it next year on Channel 4. Tesh is out there. Logos are out there. We're taking it back to the golden
basketball.
Era.
Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and the only reason I bring this up is because I saw a bunch of chatter about it on Twitter, and people were saying, I don't know why this pisses me off so much. Like Arash Markazi said, I don't know why this pisses me off so much, but there's no NBA Finals logo. I like them too. What? Why is that not there? What? And here's the other thing,
things
too.
that make you go,
Here's another point about this.
Get them.
Why are there no NBA Finals logos anywhere for the biggest series of the year for the NBA? When in the mid-season tournament, we have completely redesigned courts that are absolute eyesores.
Hate them. Yeah, you
hate them.
I
fucking hate
this
them.
really grinds Eric's gears.
You know what really grinds my gears?
The play-in tournament.
The play-in tournament, and then their ugly-ass fucking courts.
Some are cool.
No, stop it. They are all disgusting. They are all abominations to the pupils.
Wow.
Disgusting.
It's not an abs. No, not all of them. Anywho.
Okay, name a good one. And don't say the Lakers.
Oh, well.
Touche. Fucking homer.
Touche. No, I think OKC's had a cool one because they got the orange and I like their blue and black, so I like the color scheme. That's not bad. There's, I got a guy. They weren't Picasso pieces where I'm just going to be like, yep, that goes into the forever memory bank. No, it's just like, oh, yeah, that was cool. But bigger, better things. Why not
the NBA
Finals logo?
The NBA tournament basketball courts are like if Salvador Dali got incredibly drunk and said, "I'm just gonna throw paint," and that's what came out. Boom.
Hey,
NBA tournament court.
that guy could probably
It's art.
piss a cartoon. Some guys, some people are just artistic. He still gonna come out and it's gonna be kind of cool.
It definitely wasn't whoever designed the NBA tournament courts, and whoever
not
made
all
the
of them.
decision not to have the NBA Finals logo. There isn't even an NBA Finals logo anymore. Like
Have
all
you
the
seen
old
the new-
logos are just old. They're just old now. Go ahead.
Have you seen the Magic? They redid their logo, kind of made it a little more minimalistic or whatnot. Some people are kind of like
They
they really
did.
like it. Some people are like, I hate this shit. I mean, obviously their Magic logo with the ball as the A and all the stars, like that's one of their best logos ever, obviously. We don't have that now. They've moved on. So I'm kind of split, like as a person who likes to make logos and shit. Sometimes I feel like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Here's my counter to that.
Yeah.
So their uniforms are different, slightly different, so that has to respect the logo.
Yeah.
But why are all the logos seemingly looking the same now? Do you notice
like
this?
that, like the type of art, like
the type of logo.
It feels like
it's
yeah,
all
it feels like
it's
it could
all
all
in a
fit in
circle.
a category.
It's all they're all in a circle. Well, most of them anyway, not all of them. But they're all in a circle. They all have similar fonts. It's like the same designer just spit out the same logo every time and just slightly switched it to match the team mascot. And I'm not a big fan of that.
I like some older ones.
Maybe they just had ChatGPT say, make a logo for this, and there you go.
Well,
Here's your logo, Orlando Magic.
Yeah, there's some that were like the Clippers a couple years ago were horrendous.
Circular.
That was bad. I like their new LA is nice. Their LA logo that they did and the way they wrote they wrote Los Angeles across. Those are clean. But there is
the
a
ones
lot of
with the old English.
Or
that
are you
was talking about
cartoon?
the new?
Mr. Cartoon did that one. I think that was like a special, like their city edition jersey. I think that was.
Yeah.
But those are straight. Like yeah. But no, there's a lot of there's a lot of other logos. I feel like sometimes the Laker logo, I don't ever feel like they're ever going to change it. It's just one of those logos that's going to be, hey, you got to stand the test of time thing.
You got to stick with that.
Yeah, and then Boston is the same way. That logo's never going. The Knicks, I don't feel like their logo, even though they've kind of tweaked it around a little bit.
They added the triangle in the 90s, the inverted triangle, and I thought that was a good addition.
Yeah. So there's like, and then there's the teams who just completely do brand new ones that you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Side note, the Big Three has a new team, the LA Riot. Their logo, wasn't feeling it. Should have gave it as like a contest or something. I wasn't feeling it.
I have not been paying any attention to the Big Three.
No. It came across the feed. It was, it came up and I was like,
it just happened. The algorithm said, here, hey, look at this.
It was like, hey, Big Three. And it showed, I guess, Swaggy P's their coach, apparently. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I saw. But the logo itself, I looked at the logo and I was like, oh, man, we could do better than that. The LA Riot, I don't mind the name, but we could do better than that. That logo is...
I'm sure it's trash. I have not seen it myself, but I'm sure it's trash. And you can do a far better job with it. Also, why do we have head coaches for 3-on-3 teams? That doesn't seem like something that needs to be coached.
Well... touche again, but maybe you got to need somebody there to tell these older dudes, especially ex-NBA guys, bruh, you're tired, get your ass out, you need to sit down. We need to bring somebody else in. Sometimes matchup reasons, maybe. Obviously, to us, growing up, you played threes. Sometimes you didn't have a choice who your fucking teammate was. Other times, it didn't matter. You didn't need nobody. We could regulate and police ourselves. But I think it's more ego-wise. It's like, hey, make sure that these dudes, because you've seen Gary Payton was over there talking shit. Charles Oakley was a coach. He was talking crazy shit, even to his own players.
I see it now. These guys are just figureheads. They're not actually coaching anything.
No, Gary Payton could coach. I would listen to Gary Payton.
I'm sure Gary Payton could coach, but Oak Oak's out there just saying, "Hey,
No,
just
you're
bust
right.
his ass. Just slap him in the fucking face." Like
This is true.
that's Oakley.
He never brings out the clipboard. He never goes
No.
over strategy.
The only time he brings out the clipboard is when he wants to hit somebody with it.
Yeah, it's true.
I love Oak though. Charles Oakley forever.
He was.
We got off track here. All right, game 1's in the books. OKC loses at home to Indiana in a surprise finish. Halliburton. Dude. All right, how we feeling about this series now, man?
I think like I said before, I'm going to stick to the same thing. Is the analogy of your son's friend? He fell off for a day. I feel like this is what they needed. They're a young team. They had to get beat. They were going to get beat. They were probably overinflated too. They're like, hey, we're supposed to win. We're supposed to win this in 4. We're supposed to sweep these dudes. So this could be something good that it's like a gut check. Like, no, you could lose. Yeah. And like this team, especially with this team on the other side, Summer Mosquito, we should make a song called them Summer Mosquitoes and show them. But anyway, they've proven that they're not going anywhere. They've also proven that, like we said before, maybe this is the fate. Maybe this is literally like the basketball guys, like kind of being like, you know what? Maybe the Pacers are that team. But my rational side is saying that I think that OKC is going to recorrect itself like it's been doing all year and still finish the job. It's not going to be as easy. Now it's more open to a game 6 or game 7 because, again, they stole the first one. I mean,
yeah. To reiterate, I think Tyrese Halliburton really shows up when he needs to show up, and he did that in game 1. Yeah. With literally 7 seconds to go, he took the ball and said, "I'm going to get my shot," hit it, and then walked off the court with 0.3 seconds left, saying, "We got this." Crazy. And he's done that too many times for me to say it's just a coincidence now. The dude's a fucking baller, and I really want to hate on him because he beat the Knicks so badly.
Your Knicks.
But yeah, he's the man. We got to give him his dap.
Yeah.
But regardless of OKC dropping the first game, are we thinking Thunder in 4? Or I'm Thunder in 5?
6.
Thunder in 6.
I think the Pacers could get one of those. I think Pacers could get one at home, maybe a game 3 or maybe game 4. Because I feel like, let's say that OKC does win at home and then they go to the Indiana and they win game 3. I could see the Pacers showing resilience and being able to come back and like tie this thing up at 4. And then it goes, is it 2-2-2 or 2-2-1-1-1?
It's 2-2-1-1-1, yes.
Oh, so yeah. I still say I'm gonna stick with OKC in 6. But I mean, if there's another one of these crazy performances, like it's gonna be hard to ignore this inevitable fate that these dudes are just. This is their year too. Like if something crazy like today happens again, how do we ignore this?
So here's another fun fact: Indiana is only the 2nd Eastern Conference team to beat OKC this season. Cleveland did it earlier in March.
The second, so they beat everybody else in the East?
No Eastern Conference team beat OKC other than these 2 teams. Indiana has something that half the other league doesn't have.
That's why they're where they're at. I mean, wow.
Dude, this is a 68 win team, man. And Indy was a 500 team on the road. They came out and stole one in OKC, and I have to applaud them for that effort. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So, OKC in 6?
Yeah.
All right. You heard it on the Staches and Glasses podcast. The Stache Gang says. Stache Gang says it's OKC at 6.
In 6.
All right. Fuck the finals.
Man.
No logos.
Yeah, that is pretty whack, actually.
All right.
Now
we have to talk
drama.
Yeah. I had to talk on this. Tom Thibodeau out as the Knicks coach. This happened a couple days ago at this point, but we've not discussed it really, other than reacting to text messages with exclamation points.
Yeah.
All right, man. I usually let you go first when it comes to like give me your take, but I feel like I need to give my take right here, right now.
Hey, get it off your chest, son.
firing Tibbs was absolutely the wrong move. Wrong move. So when Leon Rose came to town as the general manager for the Knicks in 2020, his first big move was to hire Tom Thibodeau. That was a culture-changing move. And everybody back then was just like, oh, look at this, doing something a little different, hiring somebody with some notoriety other than like a guy that coached a superstar. No, he coached the Chicago Bulls team with an MVP. He coached a Minnesota team that was a contender in the West, somewhat of a contender anyway. And now he's in New York, and bringing him back from obscurity, giving him their first back-to-back 50-win seasons since the 90s, since Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy were running it.
Was grabbing legs.
Yeah. And now we have our first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years.
Dude, say it again. That's crazy.
Our first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. And what does the guy get? He gets his pink slip.
Dude,
you gotta be out of your fucking mind to do that. Now, I don't have any inside information for this stuff. Like, people say stuff online, they go on Twitter or X and they say what they say, but according to reports, James Dolan was very much in on the discussions for this decision.
Yeah, it's like a insert plane crashing here.
It was Dolan doing Dolan things again. Ever since he bought the franchise, he's made a bunch of decisions that were adverse to the team, adverse to the personnel, adverse to us being able to be a competitor in the Eastern Conference, let alone the league. And Knicks fans have been frustrated with this. When Rose came to town, we thought this was the change. And I remember specifically at one point after Rose came in, I said to myself, is Dolan finally going to let off the gas and let the basketball people make basketball decisions? Is he actually going to let us do this? And for about 5 years, I've been like, well, it's looking like people can change. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Nope.
I'm with you.
The old dog shit in the house again.
Bro.
And now I'm wondering what the fuck is going to happen. And there's no amount of there's no excuse I could make for the organization following this move other than you guys are fucking idiots. And the guy who took us further than we have been in a quarter century deserves a hell of a lot more than to be shown the door at Madison Square Garden. That's my take on it.
No, I agree. They definitely, I mean, like you said, 25 years. You guys know, I mean, it was stagnant. It was terrible basketball decisions. You get a chance these last 5 years, you're relevant again. You're starting to build. My thing is that they should have, maybe if they want to switch it up or try something new, maybe it's bringing in an assistant or players, different players, something. There's obviously other things that they could have incorporated and kept him, which to me would have been the move. The other side is people say Tibbs runs guys into the ground. Tibbs runs them into his shorter careers. And and for me, though, I feel like the basketball guys, the general manager and who kind of constructed this team, like you were talking about the last 5 years, these dudes think more of the basketball terms. I don't necessarily believe maybe that was their direction or that they were like, we got to go this way. I think, again, it was that I heard same shit you heard. Like Dolan was in these exit meetings. Dolan was all of a sudden he sticks his head back in for whatever his, rich guys, you say anything to fuck around with their ego. And fuck, I'm going to make the decisions around here. Who's not the basketball head.
Mm-hmm.
He just has the money. And maybe that's why I feel like it's more of, how do you just fire the dude after literally he brought, because maybe Dolan doesn't give a shit. For him, it's a business thing. He's always going to be plus. The Knicks are one of those teams. People are going to show up. And it's because they're New Yorkers. They're loyal as shit. And he preys off that because he knows they're going to fill his arena. He's going to get his revenue splits and his money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, last couple of years, I was the same way. I was like, hey, these dudes are not the sellers no more. Like, they're here. them doing all those picks, getting Bridges and building his team, I think that the more respectable thing, like at least give the dude another year. He brought you here the last 2 years in a row. If this happened again next year, I get it why they would move off him, but it's like, bro, you're right there and you don't have a bench for this team. It's not like, in my opinion, 1 through 14 was enough where you're like, yeah, these dudes should have went to the finals. They should have beat this Pacer team. But I didn't like, again, the top heavy discussion and how do you build your team? Those top 5 guys are awesome, but you got to have 5 through 8 in a playoff run. And they didn't necessarily, and maybe Dolan, they thought that, Landry Shamet and Wright were good enough for that.
I did not at any point.
No, their bench wasn't enough for.
I wouldn't have
like that.
I wouldn't have decided to put in DeLon Wright in favor of Campaign. Like Cameron Payne should have had those minutes, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think
I don't know. He drives me nuts.
He's driven me nuts in the past. Trust me. I know it.
Standing north and shooting south.
Standing north and shooting south. You're right. His form is busted, but if we could give Halliburton some love on this podcast, I'm definitely going to give Cameron Payne
at least his footwork is in the right spot. At least he's facing the right direction.
How about Tyler Kolek? Can we get Tyler Kolek some minutes? Like
somebody get out there. Give somebody a chance after a while.
But listen, I think Tibbs was not perfect. There was a fair amount of blame that we could give him for, the end of the season coming sooner than Knicks fans wanted. I agree with you that he probably needed to trust his bench more, but I think his bench was also missing pieces. I also would have played Precious Achiuwa some more minutes and give Towns and Robinson some rest. I don't understand why he was pulled out of the lineup. I think there were some things that like people had questions when it came to Tibbs, but there's no telling any of us that Tibbs didn't do a better job than every other coach in the last 25 years has done. Every other one.
I don't understand too why you have your best player. You saw what Brunson said after the game when they asked him the question about Tibbs. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? There's a question."
Yeah, Tibbs is the man.
So, the guy, like, he's obviously your franchise guy. One, he fucks with Tibbs, tough. But the other thing is crazy is that the dude took a discount. He took a discount to help build this team, build this city, all this stuff. You would think, again, I guess this is more because the personal part, but you would think that you'd give them a benefit of a doubt, at least another year, another stab at it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like doing it the way that they did it and abruptly, firing him the way they did, it's just more strife in the locker room. Granted, they're professionals. Are going to take the next guy who comes in. It is what they know. This is a business. But when your head dude is like, "Hey, this is my coach, man. Like, yeah, I truly believe in him." And I don't know. I feel like you gotta write that more as the decision maker guy up there in the office of like, come on, man, this guy, he's not, and especially took a damn pay cut. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of crazy. Like
Brunson totally bought into the team. Like taking the pay cut was the last evidence you needed of that. He was all in for New York.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen online, but the chatter is his dad, Rick Brunson. Like, people are having issues with him. And
yeah, I heard about that. I saw that.
It gets really dicey because Rick Brunson's an assistant coach. His son is on the team and is the superstar.
I can see the Chappelle memes, the Chappelle skit now.
Yeah. Things could get a little complicated on that front. But now that Tibbs is out, what's Brunson's role in this whole thing going to be? Are they going to bring somebody in to take over the staff? Is somebody going to come in and bring in their own staff? Like, that's a good question. Is that going to fuck with the chemistry? Because Rick Brunson's out and Jalen is now not playing for his dad anymore. Like, lot of questions come into this. So obviously the summer is going to showcase some changes. I think the Knicks need to make
lot.
Yes, I think the Knicks need to make a lot more changes than just their coaching. Like, I think their player personnel needs to change. I'm still very much on the boat of get rid of Cat. I cannot have him on this team. I cannot.
Would you trade him for KD?
No. I don't want KD either. That's just the thing. Like, people keep talking about Kevin Durant like he's been in the league for 9 years. He hasn't. He's been in the league for 18 years. He's on his last legs. I do not want to get old and busted Kevin Durant. We did the same thing with Tracy McGrady. We got excited because it was Tracy McGrady, but like Kevin Durant ain't winning anymore, man. He's not.
I think he'd have to be on the right team and the right situation. I think he could. He can't be.
He has his chance. He's your number Phoenix. 2. Like, and here's the other thing: everywhere KD goes,
might go to
some sort of problem follows him. Like, he always has beef with somebody. And I understand KD's a different dude. Like, he's different from the rest of the guys in the league. Yeah.
He's a different cat.
One cat for another. But I don't
KD,
want him.
Though.
I'm not. I don't
want him.
I don't want it.
Who do you want?
I don't want it. I told you. I want Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I know you want Giannis. I know he's the gigantic super Sunday ice cream with all the fixins. But let's have a second option. We can't just put all our chips in the Greek Freak. There's not enough.
We have to give all our chips into the Greek Freak.
But there's 400 and some other players. Give me another 2 dudes separately that you would possibly trade for now that you think that you'd be.
It has to be somebody who complements Brunson.
Okay.
Where they could be a 1A and 1B, or Brunson could be the 2 and our new guy could be the 1. They have to complement each other.
No rules. You pick. There's no rules.
Okay. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
My God, look at you.
I'm not moving off that soapbox.
I'm
not moving off that soapbox. We got to do what we can to get Giannis to town. We have to.
Who else could we trade for?
Oh, God. I don't want to trade for anything else. And I know Shams Charania said today that KD was like, they made offers to Phoenix at the trade deadline to bring KD to New York.
Ooh.
And
spicy.
And it fell apart. And it didn't happen, obviously.
Involved?
I don't know who was involved. He didn't talk about it. He said it on some ESPN broadcast. But I imagine that Mikal Bridges was probably in that package. Some picks. Probably.
You think that he was going to go back to Phoenix? That'd be crazy.
I mean, I think KD's days in Phoenix are done.
No, for sure. But I think the rumor I was hearing was that Cat and the Suns would be something for Cat because of him and Devin Booker. They played at college together. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So I don't want to shatter your Giannis whole dream. Of course, I want the best for you, sir.
Thank you.
But that was just one little rumor,
I mean, if I had to pick another top 10 player in the league, top 10, top 15, I would welcome KD. If KD got moved to New York in favor of Cat, I would do that. But they wouldn't be done. They wouldn't, because KD only has so much left.
Yeah, for sure. That's why
Cat at least has years left, you know?
Yeah, but
KD doesn't have as much.
I'd almost want to roll with the old dog, because I know he still got, maybe his bite is not as deep. It's not giving you stitches, you know. Once in a while you're going to give stitches for his bite, but like his bite on average is still, to me, deeper than freaking Pussycat. Until Pussycat could be fully anointed as an alley cat, he can't. He is just not in him, man. You know,
it's not.
It's not a t-shirt,
it's really
baby.
not. He's too soft. We need to ship him out somewhere where he's going to be coddled.
New York always had, don't fuck around. You always had like the personality of the city. You know, sometimes it bleeds into the team, and there's players that sometimes that you're like, hey, this New York's Charles Oakley was one of them, right? Back in the day, Mason, like there was always a dude on there that you were like, a big dude who was one to fuck with. Like, you didn't fuck with him. You thought second going through the key. You know, you question if you, fuck, he's here. I'm hightailing my ass out. New York, he needs, and he just doesn't have enough of that at all. Like, and there's nobody else on the team that's like that. Josh Hart is a dog like that. But I mean, you know, you need an enforcer. I feel like the best teams have like these different roles, you know? You got to you can't have 3 or 4 of the guys who are, and sometimes with these top heavy teams, it's like they have the same skill set. And that's where a lot of the money goes. And then you don't have enough to distribute around to get like a full, like a good, you know, team. You got to have a defender, a great perimeter defender, you know?
And you know, as much as I praise Jalen Brunson, his defense is terrible. Like he gets exposed every single time he's guarding somebody.
Smaller.
He's smaller. I mean, these guards are quick, man.
Yeah. And his effort's there, but yeah.
Yeah, but he gets exposed on defense. Not as much as Karl Anthony Towns, but still, it's an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, KD, I guess, would be an upgrade, but I just don't like the longevity. I want somebody who's going to stick around.
Your windows 2-3 years, right? Let's say 3 years with Brunson. So it's one of those, like, do you want to, would you trade one chip now? If he said, hey, in the next 2 years, you're going to win one. And then after those 3 years, for like 2 years, you're going to be and before you can kind of build back up.
Listen,
you would take that, right?
We've been for too long.
Yeah.
And we need some lengthened, like that's what we need.
And dude, you guys just need one chip. You're good for a decade.
Dude, we haven't had a chip
that merch
since
is called last
73.
Yeah, wasn't Phil Jackson's ass over there with the nut hugger shorts?
Phil Jackson was on that team, man.
Yes, with nut huggers on.
God.
And high socks. I remember that shit.
Oh,
bro.
God. Hey, let's talk about coaching candidates, though.
Ooh, oh. God, the two, please say the name. Say them so I can get a response.
So we saw the tweet from NBA Central about Mike Brown and Luke Walton.
Wow.
Two guys who have proven
no disrespect, guys.
They absolutely need stars in order to be like considered good coaches. They cannot take Towns and Brunson if Towns sticks around. No, I don't want either of those guys. So scratch those guys off the list. But here are some other candidates that I read about being in play. Obviously, Mike Malone, Denver Nuggets head coach. Has a chip recently 2 years ago.
Yeah,
problem is it was an ugly breakup in Denver. A lot of that had to do with his relationship with players. So I'm worried that if we do bring him to town, the same kind of problem is going to happen, especially with somebody as soft as Karl Anthony Towns. Like that's a mixture that I'm not sure will help us as a team. Another guy, Taylor Jenkins, guy down in Memphis that got let go ahead of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That team was falling apart all season. They were fighting with each other. It's the same issue that Mike Malone had. Like, I don't want to see the same issues happen in New York that happened in Memphis, that happened in Denver. And I think with these two candidates, we're gonna get that kind of thing. Do you have a favorite that you picked over between those two?
I like Mike Malone. I think his personality though for the city is perfect. I think like him, a little bit of that, like I like that for the Knicks. I think that too, like whatever happened in Denver, I'm assuming you learn and adapt and grow from it. So if he's coming into a new situation like New York, I feel that he's gonna pick up for whatever the hell happened over there and adjust accordingly. And it's always good to start in a brand new spot. You're starting from a clean slate, and I think those dudes they respect him. He did win a chip a couple of years ago. They know he can coach. So I don't think that that's like too much of a reason not to. I do like the Jenkins idea too, but I think that he's a little bit more quiet, more laid back. I think that Mike Malone, I mean, granted, when he was in Denver, the Laker fans, sometimes you're like, bro, shut up. We talk about us more than you talk about us more than you talk about your own fucking team. But for a New York setting, a little bit of that swag is not. That's something you guys do need, and that's why with the Mike Brown and the Luke Walton, that's not that fit. And I don't think that every team needs, you don't just hire a coach because they fit into the city necessarily, but there is special circumstances, and New York is one of them that like they need a coach. Thibs was a guy like that too. He was no nonsense. He would, that fit the New York guy. He looked like a mob dude. He could have easily been in any movie and slide his ass right in there.
Yep.
So for that, I think Mike Malone would actually be. I think that would be nice. That would be intriguing as a fan. Like, okay, all right, okay, the Knicks, but again,
I just don't know if it's any better
front office.
I just don't think I don't know if it's any better than Tibbs was. I mean, till we win another 50, 51 games under Mike Malone with this roster. Listen, if Mike Malone becomes the next Knicks head coach, then we have to land somebody like Giannis or KD in order to, overcome what we did this year. Like we need to, if we're going to do any better next year, we need those kind of pieces in place.
Well, yeah.
If just one happens and we get if we get KD and I got Mike Malone, that's not going to be something I'm excited about. Jason Kidd.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
Jason
Maybe
Kidd.
because that owner's drunk too.
Yeah, Dallas is loony, but Jason Kidd is the head coach.
But he's under contract, so they'd have to trade for him, and it'd have to be like a whole thing.
Yeah, they'd give up some assets, and
I think I'm not sure.
I think he wants. Jason Kidd wants to coach. Like he's coaching in Dallas right now, obviously. But another guy who I don't think would be the one to put us over the top. Like it's not something that.
Who do you think would be that coach though? For who's available?
For who's available?
I mean, you're gonna try to get Jay Wright.
Not Budenholzer. Jay Wright, no. I think we've tried the Villanova thing. The Villanova thing isn't working.
Well, maybe it is. It's just that you got to get rid of that guy who was from Kentucky.
Yes, please. Here's a dark horse. Jay Bliss, or not Jay Bliss. Dave Bliss. I was thinking Jay Wright.
Bliss.
Dave Bliss is the assistant coach on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So
is he? Oh, I mean, we barely recognize the head coach.
Yeah. So he actually has some New York ties. He was a player development coach from 2015 to 2018 in New York. Some dark days as a Knicks fan, just to be clear. But then he became a senior player development coach with OKC in 2018, and then has worked his way up to lead assistant on OKC now.
Bro, Mike Malone.
Okay.
You got to roll in with the suit, baby, and the Gators. Come on, with the chain on.
He's not going to have a suit and Gators.
Did you see him at his parade? He was loose, buddy.
Because he was drunk. I don't expect Mike Malone to show up to MSG drunk, telling Jalen Brunson, go ahead and shoot that fall-away three. That step back fall-away three. Go ahead,
Cat. You know what? You guys do what you got to do. I'm right here looking fly. I think it's gonna. I think
honestly, I think that was part of the problem with Tibbs. Like being real for a second, I think Tibbs was too much. Like, go ahead and do what you want to do, and there wasn't enough structure. Well, yeah, he's hard-headed, but like he's more like, come on, like hurry up and get to your man, like try harder. Like that's Tibbs. Tibbs is not an X's and O guy, evidently. Like I feel like
his defense is usually sound. I mean, he's a defensive coach, though. So
usually, yeah. But look what happened with the Knicks this year. I mean, no perimeter defense. You cannot defend the pick and roll.
He's also not out there doing slides.
Well,
he's not out there playing defense either.
You know what sliding is? That hairline of his. That shit is sliding way back.
You'll never find blom 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 a hairline like mine. You know what movie that's from? Wow! All about the Benjamins, baby. So many golden nuggets from this film, buddy. It should, again, if we do a summer film festival. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Oh, Eric!
But I did watch.
Song. It's breaking. into little pieces, little
You want me to
pieces.
make you feel better right now? I did watch Money Train last week off of your recommendation.
Woo! How'd you like it?
Fucking loved it.
Comedy, right? This shit is
Fucking
comedy.
great. Fucking
Man.
great.
Yes. Money talks.
Where's my brother?
Yeah. Fuck you, Frenchie. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, so watched it last week, and
Nice.
I told my wife, I said, listen, Justin gave me shit on the podcast because I haven't seen this train yet. No, seen Money Train yet, so we gotta watch it. She's
Dude.
like, you haven't seen Money Train? She gave me shit too.
Fuck yeah, Tabitha. 2 points for Tab. I like that. Now that's a 3-pointer foul and one, so it's a 4-point play, Liddy.
Yeah, it's like
Hell yeah.
you guys are Halliburton and I'm the Knicks.
We just on another level.
By the way, I was on our last episode, I wrote the caption, the C in Knicks stands for Cancun. I kept telling that to everybody. I was so proud of that. I was like, look what I made up on the fly. This is great,
funny.
right?
That was funny. That was funny.
All right, man. That's all I got to say on the Knicks and surprisingly, that's all I have to say on the Knicks. What shows you watching right now, dude?
I did watch Neighbors and Friends.
Your Friends and Neighbors. Yes.
Your Friends and Neighbors. That's
with John Hamm, Olivia Munn,
yeah.
who is fine as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amanda Peet, she's also in that. Great show. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for a second series here. What's going on next? I finished it.
Okay. Yeah, I was really into that show solely because, the guy had his career, he had his family. Next thing you know, he, is divorced and has no job, and his kids, like he has 2 kids that he has to figure out a way to take care of them. He's just like trying to figure out what to do with his life. And that was exactly me 5 years ago.
Dude, I'm glad you didn't start doing what he did.
Well, maybe I'd be in a better place. I don't know. This podcast would be fully financed.
Yeah. Sponsorships everywhere.
Just brown bags of cash. Just
dude,
one after the other.
like blow.
Yeah. I think I obviously I really connected with that angle of the whole thing, but I thought the performances were really great. John Hamm, every single time he does something, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I loved him in Landman. I don't know if you saw Landman.
Oh, dude, I've been waiting for season 2. That's probably going to be a long time, but that was a great Landman. Both of those, I think Landman maybe appeals to. No, I guess not. They're both great shows. I think they're just
great. They're great. You got to watch shows. Like Landman, especially. Landman, especially was really a dude
deep.
Show.
Yeah, and it gets deep as far as like all the just the big business of oil, land, corruption, and then Billy Bong Thornton is always killing it. Yeah, isn't that what they call them in Half Baked?
Yeah,
every time give me Billy Bong. But he dresses like Prince in real life, and then I think you told me or somebody showed me a picture of like what Billy dresses in normal life. And wow, he does look like a Disney character, like a backup from Pirates of the Caribbean, with like a pencil mustache and everything. But when he's in a character, like dude, I feel like I'm watching a real dude who's in his position. Like I love that show. Yeah, you seen the new one on Apple with the golf one with Owen Wilson?
I've got into that yet. By the way, Apple TV, it's got some some pretty good content. Your Friends and Neighbors. Obviously, Ted Lasso was on there, and you can never say enough good things about Ted Lasso. The Studio. Have you seen The Studio?
Yes, liked it.
Loved it.
Loved it. Yeah, that was awesome.
I love the way that show is shot. Like they just had like oneers like the entire time, like one camera, one shot, one take for like 15 minutes straight, several times. So love good. Shout out to that team. But yeah, Apple TV really has some bangers, like low key bangers, and they barely spend any money in advertising to let people know that this is happening. But
Yeah,
if you, but
I'm with you.
if you're in the know, you know, and
Yeah,
it's dope.
yeah, those are great shows. The golf one's pretty cool too. It's not as they only like 4 or 5 episodes because I just finished and I thought we were just getting into it, and then it went to the some other suggested some other series after, and I was like, oh shit, we're done already. I
Oh,
swear it was only like 4 or 5.
let me make another suggestion to you on Paramount Plus, Mobland.
Oh, all right. I haven't seen
Write
that.
that down.
Is that the
That's
one with
Tom Hardy
Oh, okay.
and 007 himself, Pierce Brosnan, as the head of a mob
Mobland.
family.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Have you
So,
seen Bad Monkey? Speaking of Apple,
no.
everybody says that one's a good one.
You seen it?
He's like, no, I looked up I guess I started to watch the first episode and I got like 20 minutes in. I don't remember shit, so I'm going to have to redo it. But I saw like a long preview of like the whole thing. I was like, oh, okay. I had more of an idea of like what it was. That also looked good. Did you see, this one was on Netflix, based loosely on Jeannie Buss and runs the professional basketball team.
Oh,
I forgot
what is
the
it?
name.
In the Paint? Like
Yeah,
what? No.
something like that. No.
Something with Kate Hudson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
first
yeah.
season, that was pretty fun. I heard that they're filming a second season. But
I
that
have
was
not-
actually, you might like it. It's funny. It's funny. Obviously, she's on board. Like she's one of the producers. So it's kind of like some of the character has some characteristics that are like aligned with her, with Jeannie Buss's, taking over the team and having the two brothers and that. But obviously, it gets a little. It's script written, so it's like some of the stuff is kind of like loosely based on her, but with obviously a skewed timeline. That's how I kind of feel about the golf one with Owen Wilson. I kind of was feeling when I was watching it that it was like this kid was like a young Adam Sandler, where he's dressed a little different. He's naturally just a good golfer, like had that swing. So I kind of got a little bit of like an alternate reality of like, hey, in a different universe, this is like a young the young Happy Gilmore type feel, but obviously a little bit more polished because it's for the series. But I thought it was good too. Though.
Yeah,
So I love when I get a
those
series
are on my list.
to watch.
Yeah, that's funny. As much time as we've spent on this podcast talking hoops, we've never talked about shows that we're watching, and obviously we're all watching the same shows.
Yeah.
Maybe
True.
we should discuss this more often. Maybe we should have a summer of movies, and you should be involved.
With like newer stuff, and then we can even touch on classic stuff.
Yes.
I'm down.
You saw the Terminator 2 one that I did with my buddy Bo, right? That was
I'm not. You talked about? Did you talk about the film Seen by the Crib? I told you I've seen people walking by taking pictures.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm like, not a lot. I don't do that.
Oh, by the way, the Kate Hudson show is named Running Point.
Running Point, yeah.
That's
Dude,
the one.
Funny show.
Gonna
Funny show.
that's on my list. I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm currently rewatching or watching for the first time, and my wife is rewatching it. Fargo from FX.
Oh, from way back, huh? That was a long time ago, right?
2014, 2015, 2016.
Oh, okay.
That's around that time. So I'm watching it now, and it's really good. It's just really well done. And my dog is barking. Of course he is, because
It's the
that's what
neighborhood
he
watch,
does.
baby. Yeah, he's
not
making
barking.
sure
He's not protecting anything. He's a
he's telling the
knucklehead.
neighbor, slow it down, keep
is-
it down.
He is a good
Damn it.
boy. But on that note, I think it's time to close out the pod. JWats, thanks for joining me this time around, as you do every time. Anybody you want to shout out?
No, just joking. No, there was a tragedy that happened at an old school of mine. Yeah, and the second death, like in the last 2 months, 3 months, and I got a lot of friends who still work there, and like this latest thing was like an accident, but somebody died on campus, like from a car, and just to shout out everybody who's going through that again. Because literally they lost somebody like 2 months ago in his sleep. A student that I used to I used to watch over. So just praying kind of for them to be able to get through, because I couldn't imagine, you still have to go back to that school and this thing happened at that site. Like, There's a lot of trauma that we don't think about. Like even some of my buddies were close by and heard what happened, and one of them even went over there and kind of looked. And I feel like we're so easily desensitized where it's like, man, yeah. And I was telling them that they really need to like be able to process these things and talk about these things, because sometimes we could just look at it as like, oh yeah, that's life, but it's like, you know, it has like it does have an effect on you when you were there. I couldn't imagine, like I wasn't there, but they told me it was rough. So shout out to well, just kind of sunny love to everybody in that community.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
tragedies. They happen all too often, it seems, and we have to deal. So much love and respect to those people. All right, man, we're gonna get out of here. Next week, I think. Well, not even next week. Maybe this weekend, we talk more NBA Finals. I think, and maybe we overreact to that shit again.
Well, now that we got a series, it's not just. I mean, to be honest, we thought it was going to be like a gentleman's sweep. And now fate said, "Nuh-uh." Remember Jamie Foxx used to do that? Classic.
Yep.
Classic.
Loved it.
Okay.
All right, man. Let's get out of here. Knicks in 5.